Well, hi there, friends. This is Tim here again with Test Demi, which is pretty much online testing academy that helps new beginners or new people trying to get into the QA and software industry. We're here to kind of get people going. So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about what exactly Selenium. It's going to be a quick overview and slides just to kind of get your feet wet and get you familiar with the process, perhaps help you be familiar with a lot of the terms and terminology and some of the latest technologies, and also at the same time have you prepared and well able and equipped to do very well on your next QA or perhaps in some cases Selenium interview. All right, so when we're talking about Selenium here, very quickly, Selenium is a suite of automation tools that are used to automate the testing of web browsers or applications. So just like Microsoft has it's a brand name, it has a suite of tools like Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access, Microsoft Word. Same way Selenium has a suite of tools, which we're going to discuss. It's also an open source tool. In other words, free to use. Keep in mind, it's a great tool to learn because the fact that it's free, a lot of companies love free, is very cost efficient. So they're more likely to go to an open source tool like Selenium, based again, is their what needs they have if they want to automate their web browsers and web applications, as opposed to a more commercial product. Now, a few disadvantages of open source tools is that there's not full-time support like commercial products might have support staff. But the great thing about open source tools, you do have a great community, especially when it comes to Selenium, and there's also a yearly conference, which a lot of great users from around the world come together and share the latest and greatest tips and practices when it comes to the Selenium automation suite. Now, like we mentioned, Selenium Test Suite consists of a variety of products. One is Selenium RC, which stands for Remote Control, which was Selenium 1. There was Selenium WebDriver, which is also known as Selenium 2, Selenium IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment, and finally Selenium Grid. What we're going to do is we're going to go in detail for each one fairly quickly here. Selenium RC, or remote control, was basically a tool that pretty much what it did was that it injected JavaScript into your web browser. So you will write your test scripts in a programming language, Python, Java, Ruby, C Sharp, whatever the case might be. And what it would do, it would send those commands to HTTP proxy server, which was the actual Selenium remote control server. Which was the tool, and that actual server interpreted those commands from your test scripts in a way that the browser can understand. In other words, it followed up by injecting those JavaScripts into your web browser. Now, Selenium decided to improve on that because of the limitations on with Selenium 1, and they came up with a new tool called Selenium WebDriver. And again, what Selenium WebDriver here is pretty much an API. API stands for Application Programming Interface that allows you as a user to simulate an end user's action by automating a web browser. We're going to talk about the variety of web browsers out there. And you do that through the use of various programming languages. So in this case, there was no specific server in between the bindings or programming language and the actual web browser. A lot of them came as a library. Selenium is actually just a library. So you can use a variety of programming language to automate your web browser or web application. You can use Java, which Selenium originally came in. You can use Python, Perl, PHP, C Sharp, Ruby, and so forth. A lot of times when you're talking to recruiters and interviewers, this is actually what they are actually looking for. One of these, ability to write Selenium test cases, build an automation framework using Selenium WebDriver pretty much to drive the user action of a web browser via automation means. So it's a great tool to learn, Selenium WebDriver. There's also Selenium IDE, which is pretty much a record and playback test tool, and it's a Firefox plugin. A plugin pretty much is an add-on. When you save your test using Selenium IDE, it actually saves it in HTML, which is hypertext markup language, and you can actually export your Selenium IDE test that you've recorded and played back in one of the various bindings, C Sharp, Java, Ruby, Python, and so forth. And now you can actually eventually go forth and use that with Selenium WebDriver and go back and enhance those tools. Selenium IDE has its limitations. This particular chat is not for the details, just to kind of give you an overview. And finally, you have Selenium Grid, which is pretty much a tool that allows you to simultaneously run tests on a variety of browsers and on different platforms or operating systems. For example, a company might design a web application and want to make sure it can run on IE, make sure it can run on Chrome and Firefox, for instance. There's a variety of browsers. And also at the same time, they want to make sure it can run smoothly on Unix platform or Linux or perhaps on a Windows platform. So what Selenium Grid does, it gives the user the ability to simultaneously test, for example, IE, Internet Explorer on Windows, and perhaps Chrome on Linux simultaneously to see if we have any bugs or faults that need to be addressed and fixed by the developers. A great cloud-based platform or organization out there, a company is Sauce Labs, which gives you the ability to kind of run a lot of these tests simultaneously and run a lot of your Selenium tests on there. So check out saucelabs.com for more information. As far as the browsers are concerned, a variety of web browsers you can automate using Selenium, specifically Selenium WebDriver in this case, is Internet Explorer or IE, Mozilla Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Edge, and Opera. So just wanted to give you guys a background on this. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on TestDemy, that's TestDemy.com. Feel free to subscribe and send your questions. Great. Have a wonderful day. Bless up.